All right, guys, welcome to episode 17 and the final episode of the season for Comic Crunch. With me, of course, is Mr. Lou Rod. How's it going, man?
I am doing well. And Dustin King, Bored at Work, didn't win the bet. I won the bet. He said Wally West behind the Iron Mask.
We'll get to the bet. We'll get to the bet. It's all right. We'll get to the bet. All right. So anyway, we have episode 17 of the weekly, and the weekly is ending for the season. We'll come back when the TV season starts. Doesn't mean that we won't. I said the weekly, did I? I just said the weekly.
Yes,
yeah.
you did.
Sorry, I meant Comic Crunch, guys. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have covered news and big items that happen throughout the whole summer, especially Comic-Con. So we're probably going to do one on Comic-Con news over the weekend of Comic-Con. That's going to be a very big weekend with a lot of stuff. Some movies are premiering there. We found out that Star Trek is premiering at Comic-Con. We're guessing Suicide Squad will probably premiere at Comic-Con too. That's a 50-50 chance. We're going to see a Wonder Woman trailer. So all that kind of stuff we'll see there. But in terms of news this week, first news, I guess I say we'll continue with Star Trek, right? Star Trek is going to prepare at Comic-Con. So if anyone is going to Comic-Con, definitely try and go see it there. It's a good chance.
Good luck.
It's going to be hard, but that's a good chance to see it. Also, Suicide Squad, we didn't talk about this, but they had screenings for Suicide Squad, I think, last week. They had test screenings for Suicide Squad. Very positive in general. I went on some of the message boards, some of the people who said they saw it. I know the whole details of the movie. Let's just call it that. I know everything that needs to be known. In this, I think from few people said the third act needed some retooling, which is what the rumors are saying. That's what they went to go shoot, not necessarily jokes. It was actually to fix things in the third act of the movie. So, but Harley Quinn got a lot of praise. Joker got praise too, which is why you can see why Warner Brothers is like, we need to do a Harley Quinn spinoff in there. So that's cool news, on its own. Other news this week, we got a new Star Trek trailer. Jeff Johns talked more about some of his role in the DC expanded universe. I say DC network.
Yeah, the other producer that he's going to get a lower role.
Sorry, who?
The producer that was on BVS.
Oh, yeah. So he talked about his role and how he's working with Ben Affleck on the Batman, but also Kyle Roven is getting a smaller role. So which means Kyle Roven is still producing. I believe he's still a producer on Wonder Woman and probably Justice League, and that's it. At that point. So he's no longer in part of the decision trust, and they're going to move him to other things. Granted, some people will say, good riddance, but also remember, he produced all of the Dark Knight trilogy. So let's just say, he's overdone his stuff.
Let's be real. What Christopher Nolan did is wrote a good script for most of his movies there and shot a damn good movie. We may not like them all, but they will all look good.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where it's maybe he's just been there for a while and it's time to move to different type of projects too. Again,
could be.
Give him a fresh perspective, because he's a very hands-on producer. He's always on set. He's the kind of producer. He's not one of those that I'll come in for like a week, 2 months from now kind of thing. So nothing crazy, but was expected. And we're still going to see more of that reshuffling. I still believe that the two top, both Jeff Johns and John Berg, they're going to answer eventually to one person. I think that role is going to change eventually. I think they're just reshuffling people's positions so that people don't feel like they're getting, fired pretty much.
We'll find out some more news once El Mayimbe decides to drop it.
Yeah, El Mayimbe says he's, so maybe this week. I know he said he was doing some more stuff on that. But in terms of news, the other big one is Shazam. Shazam's producer said, they've been moving on over the scripts. They're working on things. He talked about the tone. He talked about Alex Ross's Kingdom Come, which is a very great graphic novel to read. And, but the one thing I find that interesting is that the way he mentioned Kingdom Come, in Kingdom Come, It's like an Elseworld storyline where Shazam is older now. I mean, Superman is older. Shazam's also the kid. Billy Batson's older, but he looks exactly like his alter ego. So when he switches, he looks the same. Almost. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm thinking there is that maybe The Rock is actually playing both characters, not the kid, but playing Shazam and Black Adam. So basically, whenever you call the name Shazam, that is just what it looks like, facially. So I think that's what they might do there, rather than it be because it's really hard. I think their problem is it's hard for them to get somebody to match against The Rock, not necessarily the script, because I think right now the script they're probably just retooling to match wherever Ben Affleck and crew wants things to match. In terms of
see,
that's why
they should just go get John Cena, let him play Shazam, keep his lines to very minimum, and he can just at one point sit there and say, "You can't see me."
Yeah, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. That's not going to work at all. But he's also hinting that the movie might come sooner than later. Remember, DC has 2 unfilled slots, I think, in 2018 and 2019. And
Shazam was 2019, so
yeah, but it looks like it might be coming sooner rather than later. Because from what he's saying, I think it's one of those things where the reshuffling has said, okay, this might be a character that will ease things and also combine with some of the magic you're bringing in with Wonder Woman. It's just one of those things where now it's a matter of just retooling it and say, look, if Suicide Squad does well, then it can come back in 2019 and Shazam can move over. You know how they were trying to push Suicide Squad 2 faster? Then you can push it back and then move that one forward. So that's the kind of thing that you want to do in there, which I think it makes sense. I think it's a nice way to put it. Not much else in news. That's pretty much it. Luke Cage showed his villain, some from set photos, but nothing crazy. Wesley Snipes talked about Return to Blade. Yes. Marvel just put him in Blade TV show, but let's just go on with it, man.
Right.
Yeah, let's just do this. Warcraft early reviews have not been very great. Said it's a movie for fans. At least that's the best thing they've said, so to speak.
Well, the Collider crew gave it 6.5 and 6s all the way around.
I don't trust.
That's Collider. A good score.
I don't like the Collider crew or anything anymore nowadays. I don't even care. The judgment has been lapsed at best, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm just saying that it's just as far as I'm concerned. And of course, we heard that Mel Gibson was offered the role of Odin in Thor. Lou says he prefers
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. I say I would have liked to see what Mel Gibson would be, because he would, to me, come up as a Thor that fought a war. Like Odin looks like a grandfather more than the father of Thor. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see.
See, Anthony Hopkins looks like a seasoned vet who's been a king for a while. That's why I think he fits it better.
No, see, the thing is that Odin was never a king for a while. Norse gods are warriors. Odin does not look like a warrior. That's a difference. That's why I said that he looks like a king. This is great. But true Norse god is a warrior first, king second. The king duty is like, I got to rule people, whatever. Let's go fight. That's why Thor is always fighting. That's why he loves to fight. And you don't get that from Odin. So, I mean, it's fine, whatever. Thor movies are okay at best.
We did get that funky ass image of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, some new image. And also they're talking about making 6 movies, possibly in the franchise, which is very indicative of, what's the name of the company again that owns them?
Lionsgate.
No, not Lionsgate. Warren.
Oh, you mean Saban?
Saban likes to crunch these things out. So if this movie, look, the budget they're going with, most likely the budget is like a $50 to $60 million budget. If this thing can make like $300 million, if
the movie does well, does about $200 million here, and then another 200 overseas, we're getting a sequel.
It just needs to look. If the budget is $50 million, it just needs to make 300. It doesn't need to make 200 in the US at all. It needs to make.
Probably will though.
Yeah, it'll probably make 150. It makes you make like 100 in the US. Nice solid opening, roll out, and then this should be fine. And then Chris Evans wants to be in Spider-Man movies. Yes, everybody wants to be in that. Jubilee was deleted out. You will see her in deleted scenes. Ghost in the Shell adds Wolverine actor from the last Wolverine movie. Fukushima, sorry, I almost mispronounced the name there. And then Wolverine will have a bunch of villains. So yeah, that is pretty much it on the news segments today. Let's see, some questions, anything. Mike Tech says, I watched X-Men the other day, really made Quicksilver look dope, really dig his style, crazy speed. I saw that scene. It was bootleg on YouTube, so I saw that scene. And this is why I keep telling everyone, Quicksilver dying in Age of Ultron was just pure rubbish. And Lou's excuse to that is that because he was what? He was made from the Infinity Stone and not original Quicksilver, which is why his powers are useless in that movie.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I kind of agree on that aspect.
Or he let his human emotion get the best of him because he wanted to save Hawkeye.
No, he's just fast. It doesn't matter if he wanted to. When you watch X-Men, these fast, you guys will see it.
Yes, trust me, I know.
Yeah. So getting down to the shows. Okay, so Flash and Arrow had the season finales. Both of them, Arrow's season finale was useless.
Thank you.
Other than the fact that the team broke up, which is the best part. And also the fact that Arrow killed Damien Dark was also a good part. Other than that,
because he just people with these arrow stabbings, man, they need to learn how to stab a bitch.
Other than that, it was very, very. It was bad. It was bad. And then the only saving grace to Arrow, which I think they will apply, is because of the Flash season finale. Flash season finale means a bunch of things for the TV universe.
Yeah, but see, Stephen Amell is saying what happened on Flash ain't going to affect Arrow.
Oh, it will. It will.
I think it will, but I mean, dude, what really pissed me off with Arrow is he runs through a goddamn crowd, jumps on a taxi hood, and stops a riot. Really?
Look, let's talk about Flash. I really don't feel like talking about Arrow. Let's just. So Flash had its season finale. There were some cheesy moments, as you would expect, but it was a solid 3.5. First off, I lost my bet to Lou. It was, of course, his dad playing Jay Garrick, which has a multitude of things. Because number one, Jay Garrick most likely will show up where?
Earth 3.
No, DC Legends of Tomorrow.
I don't think so.
Yes, you have an actor who's contracted that you can use on another show because all the contracts are all tied in. It's easy. He will show up. He will show up one or two episodes. One episode.
Okay, I can see that.
He's not going to be a regular because you don't want a speedster as a regular, but you will have him there in that point. Now, the main thing about Flash is Flash at the end of the season finale, even though he saved the day, he did all that stuff with his doppelganger and everything. He went back and he did the one thing he didn't do in season one, the one thing that he's done in the comics that has messed up everything was saving his mother.
Why is he such? I gotta give Grant Gustin his ability, his props. He's a great TV actor. He carries emotion well, but seriously, it's like, get over your fucking mighty horse of mommy and daddy being dead. Get over it. You've been told multiple times going back to change time will have catastrophic effects going forward. I mean, dude,
it's the one. That's what. Look, but that's the thing that I said. Flash did it. Has done it. I think once in the books, which is you've seen the Flashpoint, Justice League Flashpoint paradox, which is pretty much what next season is going to be. Now, what Arrow doesn't get is that it's going to change things in Arrow, But I think they're going to retcon it slightly differently. It's not going to change everything on that side of things.
Yeah, they better not bring Laurel back.
No, it's just not going to change everything. It's going to change some things where some people are alive, some people are dead. You know, that kind of thing. Like some people still be dead, and then he will either still be mayor or he would just be back to being the billionaire again. You know what I mean? Like they would change certain aspects where, okay, so you're almost getting Oliver Queen of season 1. This is a nice way of retconning it. Still having some things happen that he remembers things. And the only person that knows that he messed everything up is Flash. And that's how it's going to be, because even he can't tell Oliver Queen. He can't tell him how, you know. So it's one of those things where you will see the ramifications go across. The other big ramification is simply this. When you do Flashpoint Paradox, do you know what happens for Supergirl?
I was thinking they were gonna, that stupid Pokemon-looking ball that was spinning around and shit, creating the stupid line up into the air, was going to be the way to bring her Earth into this universe.
Well, the thing is that according to the show, that Earth is the center of all the universes in the DC universe, which means that is Earth 1, and then the movie universe is Earth 0. And then everything else that Flash goes to is, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number you want to go down from. Supergirl was not assigned, and he never mentioned it to anyone, which means Supergirl was not an alternate Earth. It's an alternate reality, which means you just
merge the two.
It just merged together. That's the excuse they probably would give. Remember, they didn't mention it was another Earth. I mean, they mentioned it on Supergirl. They mentioned they were different dimensions, but when he came back to his, he never actually mentioned it to anyone.
Because his episode was already written.
I know, but that's the excuse they will give.
And okay, I'll buy it.
And say that, yeah. So Earth Prime is the DC. Thank you very much. Earth Prime is the movies. Earth 1 is TV or 0, whatever initial number you want to call it. So
what I mentioned last night when we discussed Flash, what this whole universe did, turning Zoom into the speedster known as Death, means we're going to get him back eventually.
Oh yeah, I think we will get him back eventually.
Oh my God, my friend, all last season kept talking about death. When are we going to get Death? Now we got Death. He's going to eventually show up. See, Death should be a series finale arc.
Well, Death, Flash, that's something that you want to, either you made it a series finale or you make it tied into an event, actually, because that's the kind of stuff that it's harder. I mean, I don't want it to be just throughout the whole season. I get you with a series finale arc, maybe 3 episodes per se, but it's one of those things where it's like, you might want to tie it into something bigger, because they're going to have a very big crossover event. They've mentioned that now, right? With all the shows. So I think you want to tie that into some of that in there. Now, I might text like, oh yeah, Supergirl is going to show up, Flash change the timeline, something causes Supergirl to go. So yeah, Mom alive means that also he may not have his powers.
Well, from what my friend explained yesterday, the Flash that saved her will keep his powers. The Flash going forward, the little boy, won't get none.
Yeah, that's the problem with the paradox. Yeah.
Or he's going to become the Harrison Wells type figure from the shadows and help create the particle accelerator with Harry and all that shit.
Yes and no. I mean, you could do that, but if you want to make it a simplistic TV storyline, is that he runs there, he saves his mom, he still has his powers, he runs back, and then everything is really weird and messed up. And he's realizing that, and then also the Speed Force is pissed at him. He's actually slower. They might just make him slower. They might actually make him slower. You know what I think? Like it's now like an abuse of power, right? This is serious. So when he got on the Speed Force, he became as fast as Zoom. He could compete with Zoom. He just needed to really push himself, right? Now that he's gonna mess things up, who knows what happens? Like Lumi says, too many possibilities. And yes, what's up, David? That's your shout out. Before you start giving too many devil faces out there. But the possibilities are endless. I mean, now you have the option of adding Supergirl, because his mom dying is his central. Of all the characters in DC Universe, Flash has the most central, pivotal, like death in a characterization. Like Batman changing the death of his parents does nothing. Doesn't change that much in terms of the general universe. Superman only has alternates pertaining to him coming from Krypton or not coming from Krypton. Flash fucks up everything. Like, seriously.
I like what Iron Mike put. Maybe this will cause Wally to get his powers and Barry won't.
That could be the case. Yeah, true. Wally West might be the one who emerges as the Flash, you know?
Dude, honestly, I know, see, you didn't want to believe it when I kept saying it was going to be Henry Allen in that damn mask, because since they killed him, they wanted to put him in the suit one last time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then to top it off, he kind of gave it away when he said, "Oh yeah, Garrett was my mom's maiden name."
Yeah.
You were too keen on wanting it to be Wally. It made no sense for Earth 2 Wally to be in a freaking iron mask. They never even showed Earth 2 Wally.
No, but you could, as long as he knew who Flash was and everyone in Flash's family, he could find whoever it was. Or if that was the case, remember, he didn't even know who he was. He didn't know Jay Garrick until he met the Flash. He didn't know Jay Garrick was his doppelganger was related to the Flash. So he just put him in the mask anyway. That's the thing. You have to understand the way the story went. He put him in the mask anyway.
Well, Jay Garrick put him in the mask because
Zoom put Jay Garrick in the mask because
he was a trophy.
Yeah, it was a trophy. So he didn't know that he was connected until when he found out, oh, this is who the Flash is, and this is his family member. Okay, that's going to be even sweeter. That's why I said it didn't matter who it was. Even if it was Wally West he captured, he still would be wearing a mask. Either way. And then, depends on how the storyline goes.
Sorry to say, but that Flash Jay Garrick costume was cheesy as hell.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I like the other one better.
Yeah, the
Zoom version.
The Zoom version of the Jay Garrick costume was much better.
And then Henry Allen with the cheesiest line ever. Well, he took something from me. Well, I'm going to take this from him. And puts it up.
I will say, though, I like his characterization. He was very, you know how all the other Flashes, and it was even Zoom, Reverse Flash, were all kind of like nicest to Barry. This guy was like, yeah, okay, thanks for letting me go. All right, I'm out. Like, he just didn't
even he seemed like a grizzly bear.
Yeah, he didn't want to be around there at all. So it was just one of those. I don't know who's going to be the big bad 2 Cents Comics for the next season.
Well, see, they said going forward that it wasn't going to be a speedster next season and that they were going to do a little focus on Gorilla Grodd. But now, since they gave us this ending, Barry's enemy is probably going to be Barry himself trying to figure his shit out.
No, I mean, it could be anything, but you're bringing back all enemies back again. Some of those enemies, like I said, Grodd can come back, smarter, much better, and more focused, and less of a gorilla, more of Grodd in the comic books where he's just a very smart dude.
Oh my Lord, this kid.
Yeah, so it could be anything. Supergirl is coming over though. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I think the way the DC TV universe is shaping, like as long as if this can help fix Arrow, if I were them, look, they have a perfect vehicle that just says Arrow needs a revamp, and they don't have to explain anything to us. They just have to explain what happened in Flash, and that explains what happens in Arrow, right?
Dude,
I think will help.
The one thing Arrow did good this week. Thea's going away.
Yeah, that's what I said. The group disbanded.
Diggle Wiggle is going on
taking some time off.
God knows what kind of retreat because he's just an idiot. So cool. Bye. Let Arrow just focus on him. Going out, doing the work by himself. Have Mr. Terrific behind the keyboard, being his eyes from the screen. And then eventually he dresses up. This whole dwelling on Laurel. Sorry, bro. Laurel sucked.
Look, yeah, they need to revamp. Like I said, they've got their reboots available. The cool thing is they didn't have to do the reboot themselves. somebody else is doing the reboot. Like another show is doing the reboot, so it's great. And that leads into, like I said, DC Legends Tomorrow, Supergirl. So we'll see how that goes. So next season, the other show that's entering next season that has nothing to do with this DC universe is Krypton, which I'm very interested to see how that plays. Because actually in that one, they can go in any storyline they want to.
Yeah, but that's on a different network.
I mean, it's a different network, but
it's going to do its own thing. And like you said, it's going to focus on Kal-El's family from before he was even an egg.
Yeah, 2 generations above, and then you can deal. You know, they can bring in all Tanagarians if they want to, like a whole dope.
That can live on its own. I'll watch it, enjoy it if it's good. But if it's like Gotham, it will not get the time of day.
No, I mean, see, the thing about it will even matter, even if it's like Gotham, in the sense is that you can bring in even some of his villains, because some of these people are very old. And some of these people are also, except because that movie is tied into the movie universe, the TV show, then certain key villains won't show up. Apocalypse will be mentioned.
You could mention the backstory of that to help it for the movie.
Yeah, they'll mention it. They will drop it. They will even talk about how, like, they push back the dark side assaults, that kind of thing, on there, and they're like, these guys think they can stop us. That, so it'll be interesting to see if they can lay this kind of backstory and do like a space opera that way. That would actually be cool with it. I mean, overall, Arrow was good. Sorry, no, it was not. Flash was good. Arrow was not good at all. Dude. I just like the fact that it ended with
oh my God. Really? The world had 15,000 fucking nuclear bombs?
Yeah, I mean, come on. All you just need to say is that they fired 10 nukes. Or even 15. Yeah, I know you went with 15,000, so just go with 15.
I mean, seriously, it's like 15,534 nukes. Yeah, that's some outlandish number that was in Superman 2.
No, it wasn't even that though. It was only 2 nukes. Sorry. Superman 1 was only 2 nukes.
I'm sorry. Wasn't it Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, where he took all the world's nukes into space?
Yeah, but all the nukes he took were like 20.
In a big ass net, and then he slingshots it to the sun.
Yeah. IMAX says, do you think since the TV movie universes are separate, they could do a Flash and Green Arrow movie? Do you think they should? No, they wouldn't do a Flash and Green Arrow. The movie they're going to do is Flash featuring Cyborg, and then Cyborg in.
He's talking about on TV.
Oh, on TV? No, I say do the crossovers. Do the crossover events.
Their crossover event is like a movie.
It's a movie event.
They just need, in my opinion, they need to tie up the stories a little bit better.
What does Arrow need to do? I think they messed up playing high as Batman knockoff. I don't think so. That's what they did in the first and second season that made Arrow great. I think the problem is they went into the melodrama of CW. Again, if you went into play I'm a Batman knockoff, the one part of Batman that Arrow does better than Batman is he's a playboy. If you play that up and he goes through it, yeah, he may fall in love with someone, and then he just quickly goes off, back and on, back and forth. You play like, Batman with Selina Kyle and a couple other characters. It's the same thing. And then you have that rather than this dwelling and felicity and all this, like this doesn't work well at all.
What Arrow honestly needs is to get back to what they did seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And what they started off at the beginning of this season is the season started off good. You're going to bring in the villain, focus on the villain. Have your secondary villains do what they need to do to help the story progress. And cut back the campiness of, I love you, Felicity.
Yeah, 2 Cents said, please no. So I say bring back the flashbacks. I say return the flashbacks to the glory of season 1 and 2. Season 2 flashbacks were tied to this season's flashback were tied to the story, which is why it didn't flow. It's almost like, my darkness, my fear. Season 1 and 2 flashback showed us what he was going through in the island.
On the island.
And the reason why I'm okay with it, because season 3 flashback is he's going to Russia, right? And he had some. Remember season 1? He had that whole
Russian deal with the Russian.
Yeah, he had the whole
flashbacks.
Russian. You know,
season 3 dealt with China.
So the flashbacks to me are the best parts. It's just that when you tie it to the flashbacks felt like a separate story where you're telling the story of the character, and then the regular story is where the character is now, past and present. They don't have to tie each other per se. You're just saying this is why he's such a badass because he learned it here. This is why he's such a good detective because he learned it here. Not, oh, you know, this correlates directly. And the only best part of this season flashback is when they had Constantine. That was it. Done. That was it completely. So, you know, I think they need to keep it that way and not necessarily go to tying everything in together. Although they brought back what's her name, Amanda Waller, but she
was in a flashback, though, which is fine.
And
it's just, I have to say, they have they need to revamp good. And there was one comment saying that the main writer for Arrow went to work on Legends of Tomorrow. Dude, he was on the show season 3 and he sucked. It didn't matter.
No, it's just the creative. No, the creative brain trust left and went to do Supergirl. That's where it landed, and that's where their focus is. So they need to just change whoever is the showrunner for Arrow. Have that as a good focus to see where they're going with that. I think Arrow needs to come back. I mean, that's why Stephen Amell did make a point. He needs to come back down to earth, and I think that's what he really did. He needs to just come back and realize, look, this is Green Arrow. This is a guy who, remember when he was terrorizing all the bad guys in his city. Now it's like, you know, to save the, you know, now it's just a lot of speeches and stuff that. When he said the thing on the car, when he gave his whole speech, I was on my phone texting, and I was like, I heard it, I was like, this is just garbage again. Like, let's this thing just end. So,
dude, that whole, I mean, this episode was just so, and I literally watched it last night, and I'm like, okay, I stopped watching Game of Thrones for this shit.
Oh, you're watching Game of Thrones through again. Did you ever see Green Arrow's short when he was protecting the princess? That's the vibe I like to see. No, I haven't seen that one. I'll check it out. Do you know the name of the short itself? 2 Cent Comics.
I want Arrow to get back to its glory days.
I think I'm not going to get my Arrow. My Arrow updates from Comic Crunch. I can't watch it anymore.
Mike, give it 3 episodes, season 5. If it just doesn't do it for you, quit.
Yeah.
See what they're planning to do with it. You've gone through it this far. Don't abandon ship just yet.
No, actually 5 episodes, not 3, because it's a long season. So it's always 5. The first 5 episodes really set the tone for what it is and how it does it. How's it going, Joshua? So I think that is the best thing. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully keeps you grounded. You know, they're talking about bringing a villain who is similar to him next season. Maybe that would help in a sense that now he's found competition that is literally him, not necessarily. You know, Damien Dark is super strong. This is just somebody who has it's almost like him fighting Deathstroke all over again. In that sense, you want to make it feel that way, where he's like, this dude is just good. You know, like he's hands down good. You know, that's the best Batman stories. Is like, yeah, exactly. Too many sidekicks. You know, to me, I'm fine with them bringing back the original. What's his name? Once in a while, the original his sidekick again.
Red Arrow.
Yeah, Arsenal. Once in a while, where he needs help, then he calls Arsenal. Like, you know, that kind of thing is like, Diggle's not around, nobody's around. Shit. Okay, can you help me out? Like, I need somebody on this. That's when
this was brought up yesterday as well. Remember, Barry went to Laurel's funeral. But why didn't Oliver go to Barry's dad's funeral? There's so many continuity errors or timeline miscues that the stupidest thing you notice. Like, seriously, I understand Flash needed to keep some money for that ending because a lot of the CGI was CGI heavy in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
But seriously, Henry Allen had no friends. Not one or two extra people that could have showed up at his funeral?
No. It actually makes sense. Remember.
Oh, come on,
No. Remember,
even soap operas drop a whole bunch of people at a funeral.
No. Remember, Harry Allen was blamed for his wife's death. It's only 2 years ago he got out of jail.
And he ain't make no friends.
Remember, he went to go live out in the woods. He's like, I just need to go and like get myself. No, but that's what he did. That's why I said it doesn't matter, because the only people who were his friends was
the cat.
Joe West. I mean, Joe West was the only person, even though Joe West had, remember, Joe West even accepted maybe he killed his wife. Like maybe. I don't think he did, but it's possible at this point because I don't see a way out of it. No one was his friend. So like, yeah, nobody. The only person who was wanting him out was Barry. That was it. No one else. So I can see why he has no friends. And even if he made friends over there, Barry doesn't know who they are. It's not like he's going to be inviting. Yeah, he's going to be inviting people to say, hey, he definitely made friends, but like, oh, yo, anybody in this town, my dad died while I was fighting Zoom. Y'all want to come to the funeral? Yeah, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, yeah, I agree. Arrow showing up for that, but I get Barry showing up for that funeral because Barry can make it to that funeral and be back.
But still,
I get that. I get that Arrow.
Look how many times Arrow helped Barry just alone in season 1. He was on Flash literally like 10 times last season. This season, it was just the ones that.
Yeah, but because they don't need him. Arrow needs him. That's the difference. So you would rather see him more in Arrow. And again, also let's be technically correct. The Flash can show up there in 2 minutes for a funeral and be back on the 10, back home while buying chips and soda on the road. Arrow, remember now he's broke. He's not billionaire anymore. So
no, he's just a measly millionaire.
No, he's broke. It's his girlfriend's money he's been running on.
He still had money in his bank account.
Oh, okay.
He acts like he's broke, but he had a few million left.
It's called DC Showcase Green Arrow. Okay, I have to check it out. I will check that out. Y'all think they're about to do Flashpoint Paradox this series? Yeah, that's what it points to. Because if they don't do it, then it would suck.
Some rendition of it, at least.
Yeah, they need to bring back Oliver, a hardcore loner, badass. He's not going to be a loner, but I think he's going to realize that he needs to do things his own. And the best part, the best thing they got at the end of that season finale was that he needs to embrace the darkness in him. That's the part I was like, okay, none of this stuff like I can't kill. Dude, you spent a whole season taking out people, right? So I think what he needs to understand is that there are certain people that need to go. Dark was a prime example, right? So he needs to work. I'm just saying, but he needs to work from that mind frame and not, because when they keep going, oh, I can't kill, or you shouldn't, like how Diggle Wiggle was like, but I killed your brother was still going to kill you. Okay, let's just
seriously. What are you dwelling on? The fact that you killed your brother, dude. Your brother put you in a position where either you kill him or he's going to torment your family.
Yeah. Eddie says, how about bringing a villain like Bane? Bane, first of all, Bane would just destroy Arrow. Second,
yeah, that won't work on Arrow.
Second, also again, that's also bringing another Batman villain in there that doesn't necessarily fit. I think they should just, like I said, just bring it back to the basics and bring somebody that's a mirror image of him. He doesn't have to use arrows. Remember Deathstroke was just Deathstroke. It was cool. We got a version. I mean, to me, he's not the best version of Deathstroke, but we got a glimpse. Like we got some part of that character, and he was so good in doing what he needed to do. So they made Goku.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Gohan.
No, he's talking about when he resisted the evil energy with his spirit bomb, internal spirit bomb. That whole thing was kind of useless too. I was hoping that at least they said this person gave him some magic that he could do, counteract it, and say, okay, let's fight like regular dudes. Simple. But no, it's like use the energy within you. Anyway, they should make Flashpoint Paradox affect Arrow too, so Oliver could be a killer and use guns and sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I not a killer per se, but at least go back to the basics. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That is it for the end of season 2 of Comic Crunch. We will be back, so not to worry. It's not like we're running away. We're going to take a season hiatus to when the season starts, which would be sometime in September, I believe, right?
Probably mid-September, early October.
Yeah, mid-September. But we will definitely be covering a lot of stuff. Any big news that drops, we just will come up.
Don't worry, we're still got 5 episodes left of Game of Thrones, and we're still doing Preacher.
Yes, yeah. Join us, guys. Preacher. Join us on Mondays. We're going to try and do it a little earlier on Mondays, probably Monday afternoon if possible. Of Preacher. Just so you can watch. But Preacher is one we'll be doing a weekly recap, Game of Thrones weekly recap also. Yeah, we have a recap of Preacher, Eddie. Just check it out on the channel. Game of Thrones, that's 5 more episodes, right? I believe, or 6.
5
more episodes of Game of Thrones. And then Preacher, once Game of Thrones is done, Preacher will move to Sunday night in terms of the recap. So yeah, that is it, guys. And stay tuned. We'll have definitely cover all comic book news. Tomorrow we should be doing our X-Men Days of Future. Sorry, Apocalypse.
X-Men Apocalypse spoiler.
It'll
be the spoiler review.
Okay, since we didn't do a non-spoiler, we will dedicate the first 5 to 7 minutes, just give our general thoughts, and then just know that after that, it's go right in.
Here you go.
Yeah.
It's X-Men. Spoiler free. Use your imagination.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, dude, Mike, can you start watching Game of Thrones and Preacher? What is wrong with you, man? You can't. You know what? The next time I see you online, you better say you've started watching at least up to season 2 of Game of Thrones and, of course, Preacher.
Yeah. I'm on season 2, episode 4 of Game of Thrones on my rewatch. And by God, I must say, paying attention this time go around a little bit more to the details of this show, it all started episode 1. The game started to play. Great stuff.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. And
yes, we did watch. I finished 100. I'm not sure if E got there yet.
No, I'm not done with 100 yet. Will there be an E3 live stream review? E3, no. I mean, you can watch E3 live on YouTube this year. But we will be covering. We'll give you some nice segments from all the different announcements at E3. Come on, 2 Cent Comics, man. Watch Preacher. I know. I go to church all the time too, but I'm just saying, watch it. All right, guys, enjoy, and catch you next time.